Hi everybody, this is Emini Trading. I want to do a video in response to Charlotte, who asked me the question in after I posted the previous video on how can I set up rotational factor on my charts. So if you've got TradeStation, great, you'll be able to download the indicator which I put there, but if you don't, I suggest that you go back to the old school and we do a few arithmetic, just adding and subtracting ones and twos. So let's get started, and I'll show you an example from yesterday's trading of how you can manually calculate rotational factor. So I'll grab my pen and we'll get started. So the first bar we don't count. Okay, in essence the TPOs are time price opportunities. They're just a 30-minute bar or a string of letters to make up that 30-minute bar. So we change the bar to letters and that's all it is. So then what the market profile will do, will condense all this into one bar, with the first two bars being the base. That's the initial balance, and from there we distribute the price of that. Okay, so let's start on the rotational factor. You are best to use a 30-minute chart. Don't try and do it on anything else, because most of the people and the convention in market profile is 30-minute TPOs. Okay, so yesterday we said rotational factor was +8. Okay, so this is the chart from yesterday's trading, and I'm going to start the count now. So if we look at the next bar, so this is B's, we go +1 and we go +1 because the low is higher, so a higher high and a higher low. The next bar, which is C, we go +1 because we got a higher high, and we go +1 because we got a lower low. So who's counting? That's 4. Okay, so that was 2. So now the next bar we got nothing, so we're still at 4. Next bar we got +1 and +1 because we got a higher low and a higher high, so we're +6. And we're doing well. Okay, so now the next bar we got -1 because we got a lower high, and we got -1 because we got a lower low, so now we're +4. So next bar we got the same high, so 0, and we got a higher high, so we go +1. So now what do we got? 4 and 1 is 5. This is hard. Okay, so now we go +1 on the next bar and +1 because we got a higher low. Okay, so now what's the number? 7. You got it. Okay, so the next bar we go -1, sorry, make that -1 because we got a lower high, and we're +1 because we got a higher low. So what do we got? 0. We're still at 7. Okay, next one, +1 +1, so we're +9. Okay, next one we are +1 and -1, so we are 0, so we're still +9. Okay, so next bar we are -1 -1, so we're back to 7. Okay, next bar -1, nothing, so we're back to 6. Next bar we got a higher high and a higher low, so that's +2, so there we go, +8. There's a rotational factor. That's how you can do it on a chart manually if you don't have TradeStation where you want to code. Otherwise you can try and code it yourself, but it's very simple. 30-minute bars, they represent the TPOs, time price opportunities on market profile, and from there you can just do it in your head and calculate it. So now I'll scrub all of these numbers off the page and letters, and I'll show you how to insert the rotational factor. Okay, so let me grab the cursor and go here, insert analysis, rotational, KT rotational factor, go OK. So the 0 line, I'll make it a little bit thicker, change the color to green, and the rotational factor I'll change the color to this color. You can pick whatever you want. Styles, change it to a histogram. I prefer looking at a histogram, and just change the weight on it. So then go OK. There we go. And I'll just squeeze this up a bit. Grab the pencil, and you can see there we go, +8, +8 is the rotational factor. So if you remember the other day and the previous video where I spoke about the calculation, if you didn't understand that, watch the previous video to figure out the calculation. I talked about the 9th of November being a big trend day. There you can see the chart and the price action on the 9th, and there you can see the rotational factor, how it was steadily increasing. It was +22 that day. My market profile had a hole in the data, so it said it was +21, but the number was +22. That's a big trend day. So if you consider that a way to decide if it's a trend or no trend on the market profile, and decide which way to trade the day. And one other thing you can see on this particular day, okay, where we went sideways, you can see how there's no real bias. The rotational factor chops around as well. So I hope that helps. Stick to those stops, and may all your trades have fat tails and flat distributions. Till the next one.